Hey everybody, and welcome to MBE Review, an all new review dedicated show or content coming to the channel where we will be looking to review, give our thoughts in general on a whole array of different movies, from big blockbusters down to independent small movies. Today I am going to be tackling El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. It's just hit Netflix in the last couple of days, and being the big Breaking Bad fan that I am, I just felt compelled to share my thoughts on this wonderful little movie. Now, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, is a direct continuation of the events of the season finale Felina, and it firmly is fixated on one Jesse Pinkman as he tries his damnedest to seek asylum in the Alaskan wilderness. It opens up with a flashback sequence of both him and Mike Ehrentraut, obviously played by the great Jonathan Banks, with both of them discussing plans for the future, what they'll do with the money, and Jesse perhaps being shown the vision of an Alaskan wilderness being his haven, if you like. Fast forward to the events that we see after the show, and he then seeks residence after escaping with his two friends Badger and Skinny Pete. They offer him some brief respite from the police who are obviously hunting him down, and a means of transportation which is relatively incognito, and it allows him some breathing room, whilst also allowing the tone and the pacing of the movie to slow down ever so slightly, though it still remains rather frenetic in the present day tense. Now, I say past tense because this movie utilises an incredible amount of flashback sequences involving both Jesse Plemons' Todd character, who was obviously Tormentor-in-Chief of Jesse in the TV show towards the end game, if you like, and it also features, of course, Jesse Pinkman, because he is the heart and soul of the movie. And now these flashback sequences were so intelligently implemented into the story and very deliberate in their inclusion, because let's be frank, this movie takes place over a span of 1 to 2 days, perhaps 3 at a push, and it would have been over within an hour if it hadn't been expanded out via the use of these wonderful flashback sequences. And when you watch the movie, you will understand that they are completely integral to the journey we go on with Jesse Pinkman, because this is a real drama-driven movie. It isn't balls to the wall action like you would have seen in some episodes of Breaking Bad. It really is a deep, emotional, introspective visualisation of this man's mental state, and it really does slowly unearth all the inadequacies and all of the trauma that is within this character. He has to, in a sense, find himself, come to terms with his past before he can then be a phoenix reborn and journey off into a new life in the Alaskan wilderness. And I felt that the way that Vince Gilligan implemented these flashback sequences was borderline brilliance, and that, as I did say, fleshed the story out, changed the tone and slowed the tempo of the movie down when it was absolutely necessary, but as I did say, it also unfolded the character like a piece of origami and showed us why he is where he is in this precise moment, and why he then goes to the flat, finds the cash that then enables him to go off on the journey that he has as the movie unfolds. And Jesse Plemons is such an underrated actor, I have to say, having starred in a whole array of Oscar-nominated movies, and he doesn't seem to get the credit he deserves. I, for one, actually forgot how annoying a character he was. The Todd character was a sycophantic, wannabe Heisenberg bitch of a man with a psychotic streak, and it really is shown in all its glory in this movie. And let's be honest, when you bring a man of this calibre in, who just shoehorns himself into a wide array of acting roles, he's a real chameleon, he will do nothing but raise the bar of excellence, which is on display throughout this movie. And speaking of performances, Aaron Paul, we cannot speak about it without speaking about the leading man, the star turn, if you like. And I have to say, he is wonderful as Jesse Pinkman in this movie. He has made some interesting choices, I shall say, after he also stepped away from the role of Jesse Pinkman following the conclusion of Breaking Bad. And I never felt that he really capitalised on the stardom and the foundation that he gave himself in 2013. His career has been middling at best, and I just felt this was perhaps the perfect role for the guy at this precise moment. I personally love Aaron Paul. I think he's a great guy and a very good actor. He has shown time and again that he has all the talent in the world, and he is just wonderful in this role. It almost felt like a homecoming, where he is slipping into a familiar pair of slippers and just settling into the skin and marinating in the juices of Jesse Pinkman's albeit a horrific situation. He displays a whole array of very realistic emotions, and he really does carry the look of a man who has been kicked in the proverbial bollocks time and time again. He carries the movie with a great assuredness and maturity, and he is the standout performer by a country mile. And look, I can't speak about the movie without saying that I am absolutely delighted to have seen Walter White back in front of Jesse Pinkman, Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston together on the screen one last time. Many people have criticised Vince Gilligan's choice to include this flashback archive footage from season 1 of Breaking Bad. I for one cannot get into these people's heads at all. What were they watching? Yes, it slowed down, but we were coming to the end of the movie by this point, and it perfectly showcased the journey and the growth of the Jesse character, the development he went through, the maturity that he absolutely exudes at the end of this movie in comparison to where he was in that early flashback sequence deep within, I believe, season 1 of the show. And look, it also shows us that Jesse wasn't some deadbeat drug peddling idiot. He had a whole array of potential within him that Walt rightly identifies in that flashback sequence. I thought it was an intelligent use of archive footage which clearly Vince Gilligan has held on to for years upon years and wanted to fit into some Breaking Bad connected project in some way. It clearly didn't mesh with what he's been doing in Better Call Saul, and he felt like this is the perfect time to make it happen. And all in all, I just felt like this was a great chance for Vince Gilligan to right a perceived wrong, an injustice against the Jesse Pinkman character. This is the Breaking Bad movie that fans have been longing for. Well, certainly fans of Jesse Pinkman anyway, because it really does give us a fitting conclusion to the Jesse arc. We see this man go through an emotional wringer throughout the show and in this movie in a condensed 2-hour running time, and he really comes out the other side a better changed man, a phoenix arisen if you like, and he goes off to have a nice peaceful existence in the Alaskan wasteland. Now this movie I really can't speak highly enough of. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I felt like I wanted more. It could have been a mini-series for me, maybe 3, 4, 5 episodes long, but Gilligan just knows how to get the balance right. I have loved this man's work since all the way back when he was producing episodes on X-Files, and he knows how to get that balance just right. And as I did say in a written review that I did for this movie, I think less is more sometimes, and perhaps this is the case here. Overall, I thought it was a wonderful experience. I think fans of Breaking Bad will absolutely enjoy the performances, the reintroduction of this great character into our midst, the journey he goes through, and the fitting conclusion that he finally gets at the end. I would highly recommend this to anybody in general who wants to see a great movie, though I really do suggest that you go back and watch Breaking Bad first, because a lot of the things will be completely meaningless and go over your head if you don't. Overall, I'm going to give this movie an A, because it was a fantastic experience for me, getting drawn back into this magnificent universe that Gilligan has created. After the hiatus of Better Call Saul, I was completely invested in the character, completely invested in his journey, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But look, that's just going to bring me to the end of this El Camino Breaking Bad movie review. What did you guys make? Have you seen it? Have you seen Breaking Bad? If you haven't, you've come in and watched it, did it make sense to you? What did you make of the movie in general? Did you think Aaron Paul was magnificent? What did you make of Jesse Plemons? Was he fantastic as well? Was he your second best performer? Let me know down below in that comment section what your thoughts were, what you rated it. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying content like this, you'll get more if you do. And me and Stephen will be back again for another video, be it reviews, shows, or even a reaction video.